Hey everyone, welcome to the 4-step simple system to dominating Amazon. In this actual training, I'm going to show you a simple 4-step process that I use to just absolutely crush the competition on Amazon. And it all starts with 4 simple steps. The first one that we're going to talk about is selecting a product. So how do we select and find products that are not only selling well, but we can actually compete in? And I'm talking about compete on a huge level, meaning we can compete with really, really big brands and build an asset, which is a huge brand that we can sell off eventually. Step 2 is sourcing that product. So how do we get the highest quality product from trusted suppliers and get that shipped over to Amazon so we can begin dominating the competition? I'm going to show you how to do that. And then we got step 3, the launch process. How do we launch that product? So again, it's crushing the competition on Amazon. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that and how we do that right now in 2019. A lot of people aren't doing this, but I'm going to show you how I set it up so that I set up all my businesses on autopilot. And then finally, we're going to learn about automation, just that. How do we automate this business so that we can truly live an internet entrepreneur lifestyle and get to travel the world, have all sorts of freedom, and get to buy whatever the heck we want whenever we want? I'm going to show you how to do this, and I'm excited to share this training with you. So let's jump over into my laptop, and I'm going to show you how I break down these 4 steps in a quick and easy process. I'll see you right over there. Hey everyone, welcome to the simple 4-step process to dominating Amazon and how I've absolutely crushed Amazon with this proven method. And actually, this is the exact method I use in my business that I've used to completely outsource it. But let's be real here. I too had to start the budget way, or the bootstrap method as I'm going to call it here. And there was a long time ago where I actually had to scan everything in my garage, use my phone, scan everything in my garage to be able to afford to even sell on Amazon. So I literally scanned every book I had. I scanned everything that still had packaging, collectibles. I had to sell everything that I basically owned and collected over years and years just in order to start my Amazon business. So I started with 0 and built that up. And at some point along the way, I was able to fully automate this. So I did it step by step. So you too might be sitting right now in the same situation. And I want you to just know that the way that I'm going to show you to execute this business is on a budget, the same way that I built my business. But at some point, you will be able to fully automate this exactly how I did, doing very little. I work about 10 minutes a month on my Amazon business, a month. And every single month, I collect a paycheck. And at the end of every year, I collect more money. So this is the way that you really want to execute it. Don't worry if you're on a budget. I'm going to show you both ways on how you're going to go about and do this. So let's just go ahead and jump into how we're going to get paid and the simple 4 steps that anyone can really do. The first one is select. And now we're going to go over each of these step by step, but I just kind of wanted you to be aware of an overall picture and what we're dealing with here. Step number 2 is sourcing the actual product. So we're going to learn how we source it. We're going to learn how to launch the product and how to get it on page 1 of Amazon. And then we're going to learn how to automate all this so that we don't have to do anything and still get paid. So let's start with the 2 main ones in this actual lesson. We're going to talk about selecting and sourcing, and the next time we'll talk about the launch and the automation. And let's just jump and dive straight right in. So the very first thing that you need to learn how to do is select products. And now selecting the right product makes all the difference in the world. Let me talk about this actual part, because I will say this, just judging from all the people that I've actually worked with, this part stops everyone in their tracks. And the reason for that is most people are very afraid of making a bad decision and picking the wrong product. And I can tell you from experience, I have made very many wrong product choices. So when I say this, you will pick a wrong product at some point in your career. Now, there's a lot of people that do get lucky right out of the gate and pick the right product, but I was not one of them. And the chances are you might not be one of them. But let me tell you one thing you will take away from this experience if you just dive right in there and say, screw it. You will learn the process. And now you can take this process and rinse and repeat this process on anything else that you do on Amazon. So let's go ahead and jump into the selection phase and how I go about selecting a product, as well as my criteria for selecting a product. And what we're going to need to do is download 3 free tools that I cannot live without. And I will show you along this process what they look like. But just jot these down. We'll jump into where you get them later. The first one is Keepa, which is going to give us an idea of all sorts of sales intelligence data about our competition. The second one is DS Amazon Quick View, which is going to make it much easier for us to actually select these products so we can do it quick and dirty. And then the third is FBA Calculator, which is going to show us how much money we will make when we work with Amazon as a partner. So we will see each of those and how they're used here as we come across this training. So don't worry, just jot them down. But first, let's talk about how we're going to find these products on the bootstrap method. So we're going to use Amazon. Amazon has the best data. We're going to take advantage of that. So we're going to go to Amazon in a minute and we're going to Google Amazon bestsellers. And what we want to do is we want to create a spreadsheet. The spreadsheet is going to house all our data so that we can go back and refer to it at a later period in time. And what we're going to be looking for is products that we can put our brand on, because at the end of the day, we want to build a large brand that we can sell later. It's a long-term play. We don't just want to build a product where we're making sales every day. And of course we want that, but we want to build something that we can sell later on. So let me give you guys a couple of examples that are just sitting around me and laying around me, all around me. So the first one is these blue blocker glasses. We could very easily make a blue blocker glass brand. We could also make a protein shaker brand. It can't be blender bottle. It can't be that little ball because they do have proprietary things on there. And we could do an iPhone case. This is an iPhone case with a credit card holder that we can easily make. We can also do something like this cat Post-it dispenser. And there's really literally dozens and dozens of products that we can do that are sitting all around me. We could do supplements. We could actually do a water bottle or even just water. Now let me show you an example of something we could not do that would take some time and energy to get away from. As this eye pencil. And the reason for that is the eye pencil is like a proprietary thing. It's an eye pencil. I don't know if you can make generic eye pencils, but I would certainly stay away from them. But you could make the little things that you use on your cell phone, the little pencils. So those are just a few examples. And as we go through this actual lesson, you'll see a couple more pop up. So the last thing that you want to do on this spreadsheet is you want to enter whatever keyword you think is relevant if you were to look that product up yourself. So if you're actually looking for a protein bottle or a protein blender bottle, what would you search? Would it be protein shaker? What would it be? Whatever that is, jot it down. And if you can't figure it out, don't worry, because I'll show you how we can figure out what the best keyword is later. So let's jump over into Amazon and figure out how we're going to go about and start getting all these product ideas. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is jump on over into Amazon, and I'm going to go ahead and search in Google Amazon best sellers. And we're going to click on that. And you're going to notice there's about 4 or 5 different categories that we can actually click into. We can look at best sellers. We can look at brand new releases. We can look at movers and shakers, most wished for, and gift ideas. So I'm going to jump into new releases, and I'm going to jump into the beauty niche. And I'm going to start just taking a look at products that we could do. And all these we can do. Argan oil shampoo, we can do that. This super cream, I don't know what it is, so I would skip it. I'm not really going to bother too much with products I have no idea about, but I know we can do shampoo. Oils, we can do that. We can do oil diffusers. They are definitely in China. This is some kind of shampoo, I don't know. Eyelash growth serum, that is a yes. This would be a lot more difficult because it has a lot of little moving pieces, so we're not looking for something with as many little pieces. I'd stay away from these earphones too, a lot of little pieces, and who knows why it's in the beauty niche. We've got black castor oil. I'd stay away from these. I don't know what they are, but stay away from anything you don't know what it is. Like this is a great one, blackhead remover vacuum. Let's look at that one. And what I would do is I would start making a list of these. So blackhead remover vacuum, I'm going to go ahead and insert a line here and then just type. I could do 2 things. I could grab the blackhead remover vacuum URL, which I'll click into, and then grab everything before this number right here, which is like Amazon's catalog internal number. It's called an ASIN or ASIN. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste it right here under URL. And I could just put here blackhead remover vacuum. Ignore everything that I have before that. And then keyword, I'm just going to think it's blackhead remover vacuum based off of what I see here. And so blackhead remover vacuum is what I'm guessing. So I'm going to write that in. The BSR, we'll grab that BSR. If we scroll down all the way down here, it's going to pop up. Right here is the BSR, 760 in beauty. So we'll write that in. 760, and I happen to see that the reviews were 120. And I don't have any notes yet. So I'm going to go through that whole process for every single product that I see that catches my eye. So I would have done that for the argan oil shampoo, which I did earlier. I would do this for this keto detox, for this rapid eyebrow enhancing serum, which looks pretty good to me. Anti-blister balm for the foot, I would probably do that. Hair building fibers, I probably do it for everything for this thing. And here's another blackhead remover vacuum. And so once I got all these written down here, now I've got a pretty good list of things. I would want to have at least 100 items on here. And I'm not kidding when I say that. You've got plenty of categories to go into. Now let me show you a pro tip for something you can do to get even more products and get deeper into the algorithm. We clicked into beauty, new releases. What we can actually do is click into something else. Like we can actually click into gift sets. And now gift sets might have additional things. It doesn't. Let's try foot, hand, and nail care. That does have several sub parts of the tree. And we can step further. We can go nail art and polish. And there's even more steps. So we can go nail art accessories and go even further and look at all this stuff still. Nail art equipment, and there's still even more. We can go into decoration kits, and you can just keep going further and further. And it looks like this might be one of the last one. Let's take a look at glitters. Yeah, glitters would be the absolute last section of it. And we can go in here and grab products that we think look interesting as well. So you can really deep dive into the sub trees of the main tree until you get a really nice list of about 100 products. You'll notice that I have about 33 on here. And so now we'll go to the second phase, which is actually learning what products we need to investigate further. So here are my rules on how to take this list of 100 things and really dive deep in there and figure out which product we want to do. The first characteristic that you'll want to look at every single product is the number of reviews it has. And you'll even want to take it a step further. You'll want to type in whatever keyword you think is related to the product, and you'll want to dive deep into the niche. And you'll want to figure out within the niche if there's any more than 2 products that have more than 1,000 reviews in the top 10. That's not a niche you want to jump into. It means it's going to be super competitive. Second thing you want to look at is the price. Is the majority of the products in the top 10 more than $15? If the answer to that is yes, then that's definitely a product we want to go with. If it's less than 10 bucks or something cheap, we don't. And the reason for that is our margins are going to suck, meaning we're not going to make as much money for the same amount of effort. The third thing we want to look at is sales. Are there at least 4 or more products in the top 10 making more than $10,000 a month? And the reason we want to hit that $10,000 a month is because at the end of the day, our goal is to have every single product we come out with make at least $10,000 a month. If it can do that, we're doing really good and we can really build a huge, huge product line. And so another characteristic of these products is that they would have a very low BSR. So if you're using the bootstrap method, look for at least 3 products that have a low BSR, meaning it's under 3,000. So let me quickly explain BSR. The higher a BSR is, it means it's not doing that well. So if you have a product that's at 1 million BSR, it's not doing well at all. If you have a product that's at 1,000 or less, it's doing exceptionally well and can be selling as much as 1,000 units a day. So you want to look for products that have a very low BSR. The next characteristic we'll want to look for is the majority of products selling FBA or FBM, meaning Amazon fulfills them or a merchant fulfills them. You want to stay away from products where Amazon is one of the key actual suppliers and the main person selling it, because that means that it's just going to be difficult to compete with Amazon. The last thing we'll want to look for is size. Now keep in mind, we want things that are light because they can be air freighted, but don't shy away from things that are heavier. Just understand that you're going to have to send them over by sea, which is not a bad thing. Just know your numbers and check what kind of fees you're looking for. So let's go ahead and jump into the investigation phase and figure out, does our product fit all the criteria? And the one that I think we're going to go with is the blackhead remover vacuum. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to Amazon and I'm going to show you the bootstrap method of checking this. Would be to just search on Amazon and start taking a look at, don't look at the sponsored listings, start looking at everything under them and start writing down, we'll go one by one on these. So we'll want to look at, first of all, number of reviews. So we want to look at the top 10. So we've got 81, 1,000, there's 1,000, 309, 61, 723, 639, 165, 20. And looks pretty good. Looks like there's only one with over 1,000 reviews, which is this one. It's not even really ranked that high, this one right here. And so there's one, and that's it. So that's great. It passes that test. The second piece of information is the price. Are they all over $15? And we've got 31, 49, 34, 28. Everything looks to pass that as well, so that looks like a thumbs up. The majority are over 15. Sales, are there at least 4 making more than $10,000 a month? But the key that we need to look for, since we're using Bootstrap, is are there at least 3 products with under 3K BSR? And so this right here is why we have this app called DS Amazon Quick View that I talked about earlier, which is this fist. That's why we have it installed. It gives us this data right here. So if we look at here, and we look up here, there's one at 1,700, 1,300, 235, and 1,200. There's already 4. All I needed was 3. It absolutely passes that test. Now we're going to look at the FBA. Are the majority of the products FBA? So this one's going to take a little more work because we're going to have to click into each one individually and take a look at who it's sold by. So right here it says sold by Wang DAE5 and fulfilled by Amazon. So that means that's a good sign. It's FBA. This one here, sold by Jinbo and fulfilled by Amazon. That is a good sign. That's 2. This one here, sold by Shenzhen. That looks good. It's sold by Amazon. And you'll just want to click within all the top 10 and figure that out. This is sold by Top Max. It looks great. Let me show you an example here of a product that it would not be a good thing. And this is, I'm going to search potty training seat, and I'm actually going to save it for the automation method that I'm going to show you here in a second. So lastly, let's look at size. How big are these things? For that, we'll need to scroll into each and every one, and we'll need to scroll down and look at the shipping weight, 9.6 ounces, and we'll need to grab this ASIN, copy it, and take it over to this actual calculator. This is the FBA calculator that I talked about earlier. All you got to do is copy and paste an ASIN right here. Click search. Figure out what the product is selling for. In this case, it's $29.99. Enter it right here. And estimate a cost that you'd pay for this. So my guess is going to be it's $10 shipped to Amazon. Calculate this. That means you'll get $12.06 with a 40% margin. And for selling this on Amazon, you'll pay Amazon $4.50. And for having to ship it to the customer, you're going to have to pay $3.43, which means it's a light product. So you want to make sure that this fee is in line. This will be the 15%, but this will be the shipping fee that'll tell you whether or not it's oversized. So for big products, it's going to be a lot more. So everything looks good with the shipping, and meaning it fits all our actual tests. So that would be the product that we are going to actually look for. So now let's show how we would go about this with the full-on automation method. And to do that, we go back here and we're going to search blackhead remover vacuum, and then we're going to use a paid for extension called Market Intelligence to just click on while we're on that page, and it's going to come over and give us all the data and sales data that we just collected manually. It's going to tell us the BSR, the monthly revenue, the price, and then it's going to show us the amount of sales, the number of reviews, and whether it's FBA or FBM or Amazon. And you can see there's no Amazons here, so that looks fantastic. We can quickly glance across it and figure out, is this a good product? Now let me show you an example of a product that is not a good product for several reasons, but namely, the thing that I wanted to show you on this product is that Amazon sells the majority of this product, which means it could be extremely, extremely difficult to break into the niche and to make any money when Amazon is dominating it. So let me show you right here. I'm going to scroll over to the side. And you're going to see what it looks like when Amazon sells a lot of a product. Here it is, Amazon, 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 Amazon all over the place. There's very little FBA, which means it's going to get competitive. And again, this tool is market intelligence. You can use it as a browser plugin. You can also go direct to their website and use it on their website. And if you subscribe to the keyword research module, which I'll show you here later on another one of my actual accounts, it'll give you the exact keyword volume. So awesome, we've got the product. Now let's jump in to how we're going to find the product. How do we source this product, and how do we make sure the quality is so awesome that people start to recognize our brand? Well, you got two methods again. The bootstrap way, which is Alibaba, and understand that Alibaba is typically not a factory. It's a middleman. So there's going to be a middleman involved when you use Alibaba. Okay, so understand that Alibaba is typically not a factory. There's a middleman involved. So it basically means there's a trading company in China that intercepts you, and they communicate with the manufacturer for several reasons. It could just be for profit. It could be because they have an uncle that owns a factory and he doesn't know how to speak English. So they just act as a middleman. But we're still going to use them because a lot of times the middleman has great prices. But I'm going to show you a tip on how you're going to use the site to figure out if you're actually getting a good price or if you're getting a price right in the middle. Now, the second type of method that you're going to use to source products is the more full-on automation method, and that is by locating a sourcing agent who you can find on sites like Upwork and or Google. And with these guys, they're going to charge as much as 10%. So what that basically means is you might find a product, locate it, the cost is $2. They're going to tack on an extra 10% for every single product that they sell you, but it could be well worth it because you're going to be able to get them, and they usually have great connections. They do the quality sourcing for you, and so they are there to work for you. So that's the great thing about a sourcing agent. So let's go ahead and first talk about a couple rules that we're going to want to follow on Alibaba, and then we'll jump into Alibaba, and I'll show you how we're going to go about and find vendors on Alibaba to sell us things. First and foremost, you want to use the trust badges on Alibaba, and the main ones that you're going to want to see is gold supplier as well as on-site check, and sometimes they have something called trade assurance. So I'll show you what that looks like here in a second. The other thing with these vendors, you might have to contact them multiple times. So if it's been 48 hours since you spoke to them, hit them up again. A lot of times they get just pounced on with a number of different replies, and a lot of people that are just tire kickers. So you'll also want to ask for the FOB price. Don't get the EXW price. What FOB means is it stands for free on board. It means that they're going to send it to the port so that your freight forwarder can pick up. Now, if you get something like EXW, the thing that sucks is the price will be significantly cheaper, but it means you have to pick it up from their facility and have it shipped or trucked over to the port, which can be extremely expensive. I'm going to show you this site called 1688.com so that you can compare prices and figure out if you're getting a good price. And then you're going to want to ask this person for samples or the manufacturer for samples so that you can verify that it's a quality product. Don't just ask for one sample, ask for a couple, and you're probably going to have to be prepared to pay for the samples. So don't be surprised. I paid as much as $100 for some sample, but it's made all the difference in the world for me to get a quality product. Then they're going to send you a PI, which is going to look like an Excel sheet, but it's actually an invoice, and you're expected to pay 30% when they start the manufacturing process. Now, when everything's said and done, they will contact you and you will have to send them the remaining 70%. Before you do that, make sure you've connected them to your freight forwarder so everything is ready to go and set to send to Amazon. And then also make sure you've asked if you can customize the packaging. You'll at least want your logo on the packaging and most of the time on the product if you can. And then you're going to make sure that you get an Amazon FN SKU to put on that actual product. And then finally, before you send that 70% deposit, make sure you do a video call for inspection. So the way that would work is they would get on the video, chat with you, and ask someone to open up a couple random boxes, pull out a product, take out the product, and show you how it looks on the chat. And that's a lot better than usually some of the other options that there are. You can also hire somebody to do a quality inspection. There's companies out there in China that do nothing but that. So let's jump into Alibaba and let's take a look at some of these products that we've already looked at. So I think one was the blackhead remover vacuum. Let's take a look at this. Here is a blackhead remover vacuum. And what we're going to notice is right away, we want somebody that's been in business for a while. This guy's got 3 years, and he's got some badges. He's got trade assurance, and that's really it. We want somebody that's got a gold supplier badge. This guy does. And a lot of times they'll have on-site check, which means they've been checked out. Let's click into this guy. He's the first guy. He's a little expensive. I'm going to skip him. I'm going to look down here at the guys that have been around a little bit while longer. This guy looks interesting. It's about a year. Here's a guy, 2 years. I'm going to click into this guy. One thing I noticed that's bad about him is his response rate. So it means I'm going to have to be on him, which kind of sucks. His price right now, you can order a sample right here if you notice. One sample, it's $15 plus shipping. So remember that. Here are customized logo. It'll talk about the customized packaging, the minimum order quantity that you'll need. MOQ stands for minimum order quantity, or the minimum amount that they'll want in order to customize this packaging. He's been in business for 2 years, and he's got trade assurance. He's a verified supplier, which is pretty good. We usually want somebody that's a gold supplier, so I'm going to skip on him. That could be the reason why he's so cheap. And let's go into this guy that we skipped on earlier. He looks like he's been around for a while. 3 years, trade assurance, gold supplier, on-site check. This is the kind of guy we want to look for. 73% response rate. He looks like he's a regular company. A lot of times traders will say trading company. So this is going to be, as you can see, the shipping fee is $92.93. So if you get a sample, it's $15, and this is $257 for an estimated sample. But it says $15 a piece and $90 some for shipping. So you're looking at about $100 for the sample right here. And so right here, what you're going to notice is the pricing. 500 pieces are $11, 1,000 is $10. So 10 would be our approximate order. We can also scroll down here to see what other kind of information they have and then figure out, do we want to contact them, right? So we can just hit the start order or the contact button. I would just straight up contact this guy and see what's going on. See if there's anything else that I need answered. So when you contact them, you could just say something like, hello there, my name is such and such. I'm an e-commerce seller and I'm looking to buy 3,000 pieces of this exact product. I'd like to know what your MOQ is, as well as what additional fees there are to customize the product and the packaging. And I look forward to working with you in the future. And so what happens is when they respond, then I'll go ahead and let them know that I want to do a test order for 1,000 pieces. And I want to see what they can do, as well as get some samples. And so then he will go ahead and message me, and we'll arrange for the exchange of the sample, and we'll move forward until maybe a PI gets sent and we continue to get into a transaction. So that's pretty simple, a quick, easy way of how you use Alibaba. And so let's talk about the agents, because the agents are really no different. You're still going to want an FOB price. You're going to want to compare the prices 1688.com, which we'll look for in a second. you're still going to want samples. You're still going to get a PI. You're still going to connect them to the freight forwarder and want to customize the packaging and the FNSKU. And you're still going to want to do a final video call for inspection. So it's all the same. Let's just look at 1688 and how we'll use that to our advantage. So we're going to go over to 1688. We'll keep this one open. So 1688.com. And the one thing is, while you can have this page translated to display in English, on my browser it doesn't work. So you'll still need to do a translation from English to Chinese. So I'm going to hit blackhead remover vacuum. And I'm going to grab this, copy it over, and paste it right into here and hit search. And sometimes this site can be down. It's always going to be up and running, but it can be down for periods of time. And that could just be because it's China. So it's not coming up. Oh, here we go. Here's some. Now these are not blackhead remover vacuums. And this is an example of how the language barrier might take me some time to figure out what in the heck is how would I, maybe blackhead suction. Let's try blackhead suction, because the translation, it's lost in translation. So let's try this. Here we go. Now we found them. Blackhead suction. So what we'd want to do is go back here and look at this product. It says good ski on it. And see if we can find one that's similar. We're looking at between 19 and 24, but this is an RMB. So what we're going to need to do is one more thing. We're going to have to do RMB to USD. And then let's try 19 first. Means it's $2.81, and 24 is $3.55. As you can see, that is a drastic difference from this one. So that would tell me that this guy is either's got a higher end one, or we really need to try and find another supplier, because that one had 2 buttons. So we might need to find another supplier because he's just charging way too much money. So that's kind of a simple, here's the one that I think he's got. I think it's this one. Yeah, 80. So it's actually 80. So let's go ahead and enter 80 over here and see if it's usually divided by 6. So 1184. So his is just a higher end product. So we want to see if we can find this similar one on Amazon and see what's going on, and see if there's any way that we can get it cheaper. But last tip that I want to give you with sourcing is never try and negotiate on the first order. And the main reason for that is it's like trying to negotiate for something on the first date. If you want a relationship to last a long time, don't do that, because then you get what you pay for, right? You're going to get something that's a lot cheaper than what you expected. So don't sacrifice quality for price early on in a relationship. Wait for that to develop and look for the long term. So that's it for this training. Again, we went over the selection and sourcing. In the next training, we're going to go over the launch and the automation. So I'll see you guys then.